stories glow. Palm lantern ignite, where the tales will flow. Whispers of the night, under moonlit skies. Every word so bright, in your mind it lies. Lantern light guides you through the night. Every tale in sight makes your heart ignite.
The town of Aarnivalkea, hidden deep in the Finnish wilderness, was a place of eternal suffering. 2 centuries earlier, the gods of the land had cursed the town, condemning its people to a fate worse than death. The curse was caused by the then king, who raped and killed a 15-year-old girl. The girl's family wept and demanded justice, but no one took action. Before he died, the man called upon a deity to seek justice and to punish the town, ensuring that everyone would suffer alongside him. First, the king and all his family perished, and the lingering curse that followed was that no one in the town could die. Those who grew old did not pass away. Their bodies decayed, their minds fractured, yet they continued to exist. Worse still, anyone who entered the town became trapped. Their fates intertwined with the cursed. No one dared to speak of the curse's origins. All agreed on one thing. The gods would not lift the curse unless a pure sacrifice was made, one worthy of cleansing the town of its sins. In the year 1999, Sergeant Markku, a hardened Finnish military officer, drove his family, his pregnant wife, Elina, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sanni, through the dense snow-covered forests of northern Finland. They were on their way to visit relatives when they spotted the small, isolated town of Aarnivalkea on the map. Running low on fuel and supplies, Markku decided they could make a quick stop. As they drove into the town, they noticed how eerily silent it was. The streets were empty, save for a few shadowy figures that shuffled slowly past, their faces sunken and hollow. Elina clutched her belly, uneasy. "Something's wrong here," Markku said as he parked the car in front of a small shop. His instincts, honed by years of combat, were screaming at him to leave, but they needed supplies. Inside the store, the shelves were dusty, the air stale. An elderly shopkeeper with pale, wrinkled skin handed them a loaf of bread and a few canned goods. His bony hand lingered over Elina's belly, and his hollow eyes lit up with something almost like hope. "You should leave," he whispered, his voice cracked. "They've been waiting for you." As Markku and his family tried to leave, they found themselves driving in circles. Every road they took led them back to the town square. Markku cursed under his breath and slammed the steering wheel. "We're trapped," he said. That night, in the abandoned house where they decided to stay, Elina woke up screaming. Markku rushed to her side, finding her clutching her belly, her face pale. "I saw something," she gasped. "A being. She said we were the ones to end the curse," she stammered. Before Markku could respond, the walls of the house groaned, and an otherworldly voice filled the room. "You are the chosen ones," it boomed. "To end the curse, the unborn child must be sacrificed. The blood of the pure will cleanse Aarnivalkea." Markku stared into the shadows, his fists clenched. The voice faded, leaving behind a chilling silence. Elina wept quietly, holding her belly as she held tightly to Sanni. Markku paced the room, trying to devise a plan. The next morning, the townspeople began to gather around the house. Their hollow eyes were filled with desperation and rage. "You must do it," one of them screamed, her frail body trembling. 200 years we have waited," another shouted. "You cannot doom us all because of your selfishness." Markku stepped outside, his rifle slung over his shoulder. "Stay back," he warned. "We're not giving up our child." The crowd surged forward, their desperation overwhelming their fear. Markku fired a warning shot into the air, but they didn't stop. With no choice, he fought back, his military training kicking in as he defended his family. He knocked one man to the ground, dodged a swing from another, and used the butt of his rifle to push them back. Inside the house, Elina barricaded the door, tears streaming down her face as she listened to the chaos outside. By nightfall, the attacks stopped. Markku, bloodied and exhausted, returned to the house. Elina looked at him with haunted eyes. "This won't end. They are immortals. They don't die," she said quietly. "They'll keep coming until they get what they want." Markku knelt beside her. "I won't let them take our baby. There has to be another way." Elina shook her head. "Markku, I saw it again. The god. It showed me what would happen if we refused. The curse will spread beyond the town. Our daughter Sani will never grow old. She'll suffer just like them." Markku's heart ached at her words, but he couldn't bear the thought of sacrificing their unborn child. "There's no justice in this. We can't let them win." Elina grabbed his hand, her voice trembling. "It's not about justice. It's about saving everyone, our daughter, ourselves, this town. Maybe this is why we're here." The next morning, Markku stood in the town square, holding Elina's hand. The townspeople gathered around them, their hollow faces watching in silence. The air was thick with anticipation as the deity appeared, a towering, shadowy figure with antlers and glowing eyes. "Have you decided?" it asked, its voice echoing through the square. Markku hesitated, his heart pounding. Then Elina stepped forward. "We'll do it," she said, her voice steady. The deity nodded. "The sacrifice must be made." Elina laid on an ancient stone altar in the center of the square, her hands gripping Markku's tightly. As the ritual began, a blinding light surrounded her belly. Markku felt his knees buckle, tears streaming down his face as he whispered apologies to his unborn child. When the light faded, Elina's belly was empty, her tears soaking the altar. The townspeople gasped as their bodies began to change, their hollow faces filling out, their withered limbs regaining strength. The curse was broken. Markku, Elina, and Sani left Aarnivalkea the next day. The memory of their unborn child hung heavy in the air. But the town was free. As they drove away, the forests of Aarnivalkea disappeared into the distance, and the deity's voice echoed one last time. "Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. The child's spirit lives on in the light of this town." Though their hearts were broken, Markku and Elina knew they had done what was necessary to save their family and countless others from the curse. But the scars of their decision would never fade.
Underneath the stars, worlds begin to